I don't think so, but we'll talk about it. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Basically, what I'm going to talk about in this video is I'm going to be talking about my program mentor. It's the very first time that I've gotten a chance to really talk with him, at least over the phone. It was one email, and I want to talk about that experience because that happened yesterday, and yeah, I needed a day to recover from that. So that's why I'm making the video about 24 hours later. We're going to go back just a little bit. So remember, on December 15th, that's when I got access to orientation. I had access to my WGU email, and that's when I got the email from my program mentor saying, "Hi, welcome to WGU. Schedule some time on my calendar for us to meet." Now, the only availability that she had, well, the earliest availability that she had was 5 days later on December 20th. That's yesterday. So I scheduled the meeting for us to meet at 12 o'clock Eastern time on December 20th. So what I did to prepare for that is I finished all of the enrollment stuff. There's something called the learning portal or something like that. I haven't talked to you guys about that yet, but I did all of that too. I did all of that over the weekend. And so I was fully prepared for this meeting and I was excited. I was ready to go. I had a bunch of notes set up. I just really was ready to talk to her and to kind of explain, maybe some of the classes that I'd like to take, the order that I like to take them in, because I've been, following and tracking, all of these classes and everything for a really, really long time. And so, yeah, I was excited. And, by the time 12 o'clock came around, I had everything set up and I was fully ready to go. The way that this works is, she's supposed to call me. So I had her number, but I'm not really supposed to call her. It says in the meeting invite that she will call you at the specific time that you're supposed to be called. So, I just sat and waited. At 12 o'clock, sitting at my desk, ready to go, looking at my phone, but the phone didn't ring. At 12:05, I was like, okay, well, not the end of the world. Maybe she's finishing up with another meeting. It's cool. 12:10, 12:15, 12:20, 12:25. At 12:25, oh, by the way, it's only a 30-minute meeting. So at 12:25, I'm like, I guess she's just not coming. I was pretty annoyed, pretty frustrated, but I decided the best thing to do would be to send her an email. So I sent her an email and I was like, hey, just checking in, we were supposed to meet at 12 o'clock, 12 Eastern time. She's in the same time zone though, so I didn't think it would be a time zone issue, but I'm like, hey, we're supposed to meet at 12. I haven't heard anything from you. So, I'm just checking in to see if we are going to meet today. And I sent the email and, I was hoping that she would respond back, fairly quickly, but that's not what happened. 1 p.m. comes around. I haven't heard anything from her at this point for an entire hour. 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. And I'm just, by the time 4 p.m. came around, I was like, if it's a time zone issue, maybe she thought I was in like Pacific time or something like that. That's a 3-hour difference. So, but then again, she would have saw the email, right? So I'm just going through a bunch of emotions here. Like, damn, like this is the first meeting that we're having. And she just didn't show up. Did I just get ghosted by my program mentor on the very first day? And, I was going to make a video about that. But then at 5 o'clock, it was right before 5 o'clock, my phone rang and I looked at it and I recognized the number. It was my program mentor. When I finally talked to her, she basically starts off by saying, hey, sorry, I was sick, wasn't feeling good today. Okay, fine. I didn't make a big deal about it. I was like, okay, sure, not a problem. Because to be honest with you, hey, everybody goes through something sometime. I wasn't gonna make a big deal. To me, everybody gets one, so cool. But then she, like, the next sentence, she was like, yeah, so, I was feeling really bad and I just woke up for the first time today. And I, went to my computer and then immediately called you. Wait a minute. What? It was 5 p.m. when she called me. So I'm thinking in my head, like, wait a minute. You called me at 5 p.m. You just woke up at 5 p.m. The first thing you did was rush to your computer and called me? Okay, a little bit weird. Strange, but okay, let's continue. So again, yeah, I was like, okay, not a problem. Cool. And then she was like, well, I sent you a request to change the time. You didn't get the request? And I said, no, I didn't get the request at all. And she was like, yeah, I sent it. I don't know why you didn't get it. And so, while we were talking, I logged into my WGU email. It only has like 10 emails in there. There is no email of her rescheduling the time to meet at any other time. And there wasn't anything in my personal mailbox either. But also, when did you send that? Because if you were sick, then surely you didn't like send it early, because you couldn't have been, because you were laying down sleep, right? It's just a lot of stuff instantly that's not really adding up. I'm trying to keep it together, trying to stay calm, because again, things happen. It's not the end of the world, but red flags left and right already. Yeah, I was just wasn't. Something's wrong. So I decide it's not really worth pressing this any further. I mean, I wasn't really pressing it anyway. She just kept saying stuff. So I just kind of moved forward and tried to move it along, because I wanted us to use as much time as, was available, because it was already really, really late. And so what happened is she just kind of immediately was like, all right, we're going to have to schedule another meeting. And I kind of figured that might be the case, especially because she was calling me so late. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. And she was like, well, let me look at my calendar. So she looks on her calendar, and then she's like, okay, let's meet on Wednesday at 12:30, which is another 5 days from today. And so, I was kind of disappointed here, because, I thought that by now I would at least know the 4 classes that I'm originally assigned. But, there's nothing I can do about it. Obviously, Christmas is coming up, so I'm sure WGU has some holidays and things. So I was like, okay, if that's the earliest that we can do, no problem. Let's meet then. She then tells me that before we meet, there's some things that she wants me to do. And so she was like, she wants me to complete all of the orientation before we meet. To which I told her, not a problem, already done. I did it last weekend. Pretty much the second I got access to it, I set up some personal time and I knocked it out. And she was like, oh, okay. And so then she was like, well, I need you to complete all of the personal learning, which I haven't talked to you guys about, but it's something you can do at the same time you can do the orientation. It's about, I want to say it took me like maybe 2 hours. But anyways, so yeah, she was like, well, I need you to complete that. I said, okay, already done. I also did that over the weekend, so that's all taken care of. And she was like, well, okay. So then she told me that she wants me to open every single course that I have, which for me, it's not that bad. I only have like 10 classes left, right? But she told me she wanted me to open them. And there's some like tool or whatever that she wants me to complete for each class before we meet. And so I had to look into this because I didn't know what it was. And basically, it kind of looks like it asks you a couple of questions, about, if you think you know the material, and then it's going to ask you some questions, like actual like quiz type questions to, I guess, test to see what your knowledge is. It's not too long. I obviously can't tell you too much about it, but yeah, it'll give you a score. And apparently that's going to help her to determine what actual classes I'm going to get assigned first. And this leads me to another problem. So, if you guys have been following the channel for a while, you guys know that I know what classes I have to take. And I've seen in some situations where people are allowed to kind of choose the classes that they want. It appears that in most cases, your program mentor will have an idea of the kind of classes that they want you to take first. And so you may have to do whatever they want. But then after that, any other classes that you want to get done extra that term, you can kind of choose what you want to do, as long as it's not like the final capstone. And so, when I was talking with her about the classes, I basically said like, hey, there's actually, a list of classes that I'd like to take in a specific order. And I was like, I've thought really, really long and hard about this. I've spent, the past couple of months just kind of going through and looking at them. And I said that, I would like to do them in, I think, a really good order that actually works for WGU as well. Because I have I have 4 general classes that I have to do, 1 core class, and then I think it's 4 specialization type classes plus the final capstone. And so I told her I really want to do that 1 core class first and then just do all the gen classes and then do the specialization classes. And she didn't really tell me no, but it was the way that she told me what she kind of told me that made me think, yeah, she's not gonna budge. So I think that she's probably just gonna go off of whatever WGU says. And I mean, she said, hey, this isn't a dictatorship, so I'm willing to listen to whatever your thoughts are. But still, I just didn't come out of that talk that we had thinking that I'm really gonna be able to decide anything. I think that I am pretty much just gonna have to do whatever it is that she wants, and that'll be that. And it's one of the situations where it could really, really negatively affect me as far as starting is concerned, but it is something that I kind of mentally have prepared myself for, so I might have to deal with that. The reason why I say this too is I looked her up, and I didn't really tell you guys a lot, and I'm not going to, but I will say that I saw her LinkedIn page, and she is very, very new to WGU. It is possible I might be, her first set of people at WGU. And if that's the case, in my opinion, that's actually really bad. And the reason why I think it's really bad is because if she's really new to WGU, she's probably going to try to follow whatever recommendations WGU gives, like by the book. I've heard of program mentors that are more willing to work with the actual students, but in my opinion, they probably have some experience. They probably know how WGU works and understands a little bit more about what they can and can't assign and the way that they do things. But, if she's brand new, I don't really have a lot of confidence that she's going to be willing to do a lot of wiggle room with, some of the course materials and stuff. And then on top of that, again, she was 5 hours late to our very first meeting. And I don't have a lot of confidence that, when it comes time for me to talk with her about unlocking additional classes or requesting vouchers or things like that, I'm just not feeling good that she is going to be around and be available, and that I'm going to be able to get the stuff that I need in order for me to succeed. So that really, it really bummed me out quite a bit, to be honest with you. There are only a couple of things that really, really bother me. Just in general. And one of those things is people being late. I hate it. It's one of my pet peeves. Like if I try to hang out with you and you're late a bunch of times, if you're late like 10-15 minutes every time, I probably won't try to hang out with you after a while. It drives me nuts. And especially when people ghost me. So having this situation where she was 5 hours late and then kind of hearing the random weird excuses that she made, I'm not feeling very confident about my program mentor. However, I want to make this clear. Again, things happen. She really could be sick. I know if I'm like really, really sick, I don't want to deal with people. I don't want to deal with nothing, but I do communicate. If I'm not feeling good, the second I know I'm not feeling good, I'll send my boss an email or something. Actually, I don't think I've sent my boss an email because I just haven't not been available to work. But yeah, I get it. If you're not feeling good, if you're feeling sick, maybe you don't want to work, maybe you're not available, whatever the situation is. I don't want to make excuses for this person. I just want to find out what my classes are so I can start really preparing and moving forward. I had a pretty big plan of what I wanted to do this weekend in regards to WGU, because I thought I was going to, at the very least, know the first 4 classes that I was going to be assigned. But I don't know that now. I will find out next week. And so when I find out next week, I will tell you guys. I still want to go through and talk about all 10 classes that I have left. I just want to be able to tell you guys those 10 classes in the actual order that I'm going to do them in. But of course, I have to find out what that order is. So yeah, that's basically my situation. Hopefully this all works out. Hopefully this was just a one-time thing as far as the issues go, because I'm not feeling too confident here. But what I think I'm going to do is, I'll just try to continue to prepare, continue to do what I need to do. continue to kind of pre-study, I guess, all of the classes instead of just, the first four, because I don't know what the first four are going to be. And I will make it work. One of the big things that I want to say, and I'll probably make another video about this next week, is that, this situation sucks. It does. And it's a situation that makes me nervous, and it makes me kind of, question whether I'm even going to be able to do it, because I feel like instead of it being a situation where I have a little bit of help, instead it's just going to be another obstacle, another problem that's going to stop me from moving forward. But at the end of the day, I have to remember why I'm doing this. I have to remember to stay focused. I have to remember that, I have always done things pretty much by myself. And no matter what issues happen, no matter what comes up, I have to stay focused. I got to stay mentally clear. I have to stay disciplined. I'll be honest, I'm not really happy with myself yesterday. I was already finished with work, so that was good. But there are things that I'm kind of doing after work to prepare, for WGU, just in my personal life. And I mean, I felt so extremely defeated after talking with her yesterday that I just didn't want to do anything else for the rest of the day. I just wanted to eat and then go to sleep. And so, that was kind of my day yesterday. And I woke up this morning really thinking about that. And, I can't do that. I can't let that happen. I can't go, damn, well, this sucks. My day's ruined or whatever. Like, I got to push through all of that, or else I'm not going to get this school stuff done. So, and I could definitely be overthinking this. It was just one situation. I do have the option to always switch and get a different program mentor, but I'm not going to hold this one thing against her. It is a red flag to me. It makes me very nervous. But again, it was this one time. So I'm not going to make a big deal about it. We'll continue to move forward. I'm going to continue with this program mentor, and we'll see what happens. If she ends up being late for everything like my enrollment counselor was, by the end of January, probably mid-January, I will be requesting someone else. But I want to give her a shot. Again, I think she's pretty nice. In general, she actually had a YouTube video I found. So it's okay. It's like, I know what she looks like. I know what she sounds like. She seems pretty cool. Same thing with my enrollment counselor. Like, I mean, I found all his information too. It's probably a security guy in me. I'm not trying to sound like some creepy person, but when you're going to be working with somebody, you just want to know who they are. So you just look them up. That's kind of what I do with everybody. But yeah, I don't want to let this one situation be the end. Mentally, I'm not trying to check out or anything. I'm just going to stay focused. I'm going to get done what I need to get done. But yeah, this is bad. And I really hope that this situation only happens just this one time. I'm really hoping that, she shows up on time next week. I'm hoping that I'm able to get the classes. It's more important to me to find out what classes I have than to, really go back and forth with trying to explain the classes that I want. I will explain the classes that I want, but if it doesn't happen, it is what it is. I just need to know what those damn classes are so I can prepare. So yeah, one last issue that I'm kind of worried about here is, the first week of January, I am off of work. So all of the first week of January is the only time in this entire term when I'm going to have an entire week off of work. And so I really, really want to focus this first week and get done, as much as like the classes that I really don't want to do. Those are the classes that I'm trying to get assigned first, so I can just knock them out in this week, because I know from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, I have no other priorities than just getting this done. I work full time, 40 plus hours a week, whatever it is that they need. So, there's no telling what other things can come up, which is why I really, really want to focus here. And if it's a situation where I have to, switch and get another program mentor, that's not going to help me for my first week of January. Like, I don't know how long it takes to switch them out or something, but no, this first week is so, so important. And so, yeah, I'm nervous about it, but I am hoping for the best. So, yeah. But that's it. I don't want to ramble on too long. So thank you guys for listening, and I will see you in my next video.